Alright, hello everyone and welcome back to my Fallout 4 Mod Spotlight series, where today we are having a look at the Mothman-Winchester M-2 Shotguns mod, which is being made by user Scale. And what this glorious little piece of work looks to add into the game is not one, but two wonderful new pump-action shotguns for you to enjoy, and I have very much been enjoying my time with it so far, because frankly, who doesn't want a new shotgun in the game, especially one that's pump-action? It's just good times. So let's jump on over here and take a look at the two weapons we get, beginning with the M2 shotgun, which is sort of the more standard of the two pump actions, being tube fed, and will do 70 damage with a shotgun shell with a firing rate of 4, range of 107, accuracy of 71, and a weight of 14.4. Now, as for the M2BM shotgun, it looks more or less the same from one side, but on the other side, you can see rather than being tube-fed, it's magazine-fed. And as for this one's stats, it actually does less damage at 65, using a shotgun shell with a firing rate of 5, range of 107, accuracy of 71, and a weight of 11.1. So two kind of odd stats there, you know, between the damage and the weight, both being less somehow than the other shotgun, but still, you know, quite nice. You do get a slightly faster fire rate with this one, but yeah, the big difference is that magazine, rather than having the tube fed, having it be the detachable box magazine here on the side. But other than that, they share all the same sorts of different modifications, and you do have a lot of modifications in here to really help you get the most out of this gun, taking it from a solidly early to mid-game weapon into sort of a mid to late, in my opinion at least, and all in all is just a nice weapon, very nicely made with the texturing and modeling on both of them. I do love all the detailing on these things, it's quite cool. And of course you got the M-2BM thing here, and then of course on the other shotgun, if we zoom on in slowly but surely, there we are, we just have the M2 over there. Very nice indeed, I do like it. So how do you get your hands on one of these two weapons? Well, it's quite easy. This is added into the leveled list, so you'll find them all over the Commonwealth on enemies and in containers, and it can of course also be bought at vendors, so you shouldn't have much of a hard time getting your hands on one of these things. Now, as for the modifications, we're only going to look at one gun because, like I said, the weapon modifications for these are identical no matter which one of the two you do go with. And I'm also now looking at this, you know, kind of, you know, seeing the difference. I hadn't noticed that little loop there on the barrel before. It does not exist on the M2BM. Interesting. I had noticed that little detail between the two of them. Very nice. But let's go in to the modifications, starting with the receiver, where you've got the pretty typical things here, going from a standard all the way on up to advanced. And with the M2, this is going to be the highest damage you're going to be able to do at about 122, without, of course, any additional perks upping your damage. Now then, the barrel category, we've got a good few options of either a short, medium, and a long, and a shielded version of each. I quite like the look of the shielded ones. It looks pretty darn cool. Now then, in the stock category, we've got either the standard short, a full, or a recoil compensating stock right there. We then the magazine category for this one have either the standard, medium, or large magazine, and this is the main difference between the two weapons here, is that actually if we do quickly jump back over to a 2BM, its magazine has either a standard or medium, and then quick eject versions of those two. Yeah, just the major difference between the box magazine or, of course, the tube. Now then, after that though, both guns have the same sights of either the standard iron sights or two different reflexes, one being a circle and one a dot. I'd love to see a few more things in here. At the very least, a glow sight I think would be quite interesting. But for now, we just have these 3. And then we have the muzzle category, limited here as well with either a nothing, a compensator, or a muzzle brake. And then, of course, finally, we have, I think actually my favorite category on these mods here, the material. So that you can change up the aesthetic of the gun to what you would like it to be, to fit a bit more of your style, which is pretty cool. Now, we've got 4 different sort of standard looks here with the, gunmetal and then the wood of either being oak, redwood, rosewood, or walnut. And then we get a little bit more interesting with things like the Arctic white. Now, you're still going to have the same 4 woods, but they're sort of a bit painted over with that Arctic white. And you're going to get the same thing with the olive green. Once more, the 4 different woods, but with a lot of paint on top. Personally, I just prefer this because, well, that, gunmetal just looks nice. The Arctic ones look a bit better with the larger stocks, especially the recoil compensating. But honestly, to me, it just looks like literally someone spray painted the gun, and that's But hey, if you like that, go with it. And that is it for the modifications. Let me go grab my modified versions of the guns, and let's take a look at these things at the firing range here. Though before we do, just a quick look at my 2 versions. So max damage, again, without perks. I was able to get the M2 up to 122 with mods, and the M2BM up to just 113. So when you get to the high end, it's not hugely behind, but still it is a bit behind, which I don't know why just switching from tube to magazine would do that, but okay. Now let's take some shots and fire with the standard minimum version having just 4 rounds. And there we go, and a nice, good, smooth animation loading 2 shells at a time. So holding all 4 in your hand, which is actually quite impressive of a way to load. And yeah, so definitely a slow shotgun, and in the standard version, not a whole lot of shots to it, but a good, fun thud to the thing, and quite an easily controllable shotgun. Another reason I wish that there was some other sights, maybe even a short sight, and maybe perhaps a choke mod to help with lessen the spread. It could make for a very fun hunting shotgun here in the game. Now let's of course go grab over to the M2BM with that magazine on the side there and fire. And there you go. It is, even though it's only 1 point faster, according to stats, it is fairly noticeable going between those 2 points, which is quite nice. This one is definitely a bit more for if you're in hairier situations, and that reload is definitely quicker than doing the one-handed 4-round thing. But overall, still pretty cool. Now let's look over at the 2 modified ones, each with the maximum ammo for it. So for this, with the medium magazine, you're getting 6 rounds in this thing, which is certainly an improvement over the 4, though admittedly not by too horribly much. And with the long tube on this one, we actually get 8 in total for this. Another reason why, it'd be interesting to have it a bit more of a hunting thing with the slower firing rate on this and the, 8 rounds. I think it'd be quite fun for that. But you got what you got, and it is still a fun weapon. So let's use it against an enemy, and, oh boy, we're gonna try a Deathclaw with this thing. I should probably really only be trying with a Raider right now, but, this one is doing 122 damage, which isn't bad at all. So, we should actually be able to take it down. Granted, I mean, if it stays far away, with a shotgun in a video game, not exactly the best. So, yeah, we're gonna have to go back down a bit. Let's fire there, and... oh god, go back up, go back up, go back up! Jeez, the Deathclaw! Alright, there we go. And, actually, you know what? Not gonna be too bad with this thing. We almost have it down with this particular gun. Let's actually switch on over to this, though. Bring it, Deathclaw! Oh god, it's bringing it, and I may die. Never mind, we're good. So yeah, yeah, this is a fun little mod, adding in 2 shotguns that are, for the most part, identical. A few minor aesthetic differences between them, which is nice, but the big one being either tube-fed or magazine-fed. And all in all, they are just fun weapons to play around with here in the Commonwealth. So if you'd like to take a look at them for yourself, which I'd certainly recommend you go and do, you can have a look at the link in the description, as per usual. But that's going to be it for today, my friends. Hopefully you have enjoyed, and you come back for the next. But until that time, thank you for watching, and as always, have a good one.